Hi, I'm Jeremiah Bryant, Service Planning Manager at Omnitrans, and I'm here to help explain some of the service changes we have scheduled for September 8th, 2015. In this presentation, we'll be talking about West Valley service changes. Actually, in September, we have three major service changes scheduled. The first is West Valley, which is really focused on our north-south routes. We also have East Valley service changes, which primarily open or relate to opening of the San Bernardino Transit Center. The difference between East Valley and West Valley is if you're west of Fontana, you're in West Valley. If you're east of Fontana, you're in East Valley. And if you're in Fontana, you're actually sort of both. When we also have a major change tied to the introduction of our Route 290 Freeway Express. This Freeway Express is on the I-10 corridor and is really designed to speed up travel between our East and West Valleys. Here's a map of service changes or services that we expect to deliver come September 8th. It's West Valley. There's really two maps here. The top map shows the routes. The bottom map shows the frequencies. When we look at the map, you'll see the service on our key trunk routes, Route 66 and 61, remain the same. Really, in our developing our service plan, what we did was really rely on those key trunk routes we know you've grown accustomed to, and rely on that 15-minute service for long hours on those key trunk routes, primarily on Holt and on Foothill. And we really wanted to utilize those trunk routes to build the most effective, most efficient network for you to make your travel easier and simpler as we possibly could, while also making the network easier for new riders to understand. The key changes, as mentioned on the last slide for West Valley, really focused on our north-south routes. In planning, one of the places we get our information is listening to customers and what our customers ask for in order to make the routes better for them. One of the frequent requests we got tied to Mountain Avenue. Currently, before the service change, if you wanted to travel north and south on Mountain, you needed to connect to 3 different buses. That's not a very easy way to make a very simple north-south trip. Come September, with the new Route 84, you'll be able to travel from Upland to Chino or Chino to Upland without making a transfer on this new Route 84 by staying on that route on Mountain Avenue. We did something very similar on Haven Avenue. Again, today, there are 3 transfers required, or 3 buses required to go north and south on Haven. With the new Route 81, you can do that same trip with just 1 bus, making north-south travel much faster. Anyone who took the old Route 81 knew that it meandered north, south, east, west, making travel for a new rider very confusing. A lot of times when you're on a bus and you're not quite sure where you're going, when it makes an unexpected turn, it can be a little scary. Here with many of our new routes, it's designed to really simplify that experience and make it much easier to understand and much more like how someone who is driving or walking would choose to travel. Another key change to our West Valley routes is a change to our numbering system. You'll see that our key east-west trunk routes, 61 and 66, remain the same, as did 67. What we tried to do, and what we did, was keep our east-west routes numbered in the 60s. Our north-south routes are numbered in the 80s. So 81 primarily travels north and south on Haven, 83 north-south on Euclid, 84 north-south on Mountain, 85 Central, 88 Ramona. There should be a special prize for someone figuring out why 82 is numbered what it is. The route Still a U travels north-south and east-west, so rather than really fitting it into this numbering convention, we left it with the numbers as they were. In addition to looking at the route map that we just looked at, I wanted to go through each individual route change to make sure that they were easier to understand. Looking at Route 61 and 66, as we mentioned, there is no significant change. One of the first places with a significant change is the Route 67. One thing we've noticed, especially with the launch of the Go Smart program, has been increased ridership, specifically at Chaffey College, for college students. One of the things with Chaffey College is looking at their draw area. One of Chaffey's largest draw cities is the city of Fontana. When looking at Fontana, there is no currently one-seat ride connection between Fontana and Chaffey. The new Route 67 corrects that. As you'll recognize, it's pretty much a what's old is new again, with the Route 67 starting in Fontana, traveling up Sierra to Baseline, getting to Archibald before traveling north to Chaffey College. This is similar to routing from probably almost a decade ago, but now with that growing college ridership is a much more important fit to our network. If you're a writer of the 67 today, you'll notice that the route between Archibald in Rancho Cucamonga and Fontana has remained exactly the same. Service on Sierra didn't change, and service on the majority of Baseline didn't change. Once the route reaches Archibald, it does travel north. This gives us connections to new locations on Archibald, new apartments on Lemon, while ultimately getting to Chaffey College. If you're trying to get to somewhere else along Baseline that used to be covered by the Route 67, there are still options. Specifically, if you're looking to get to an area like Alta Loma High School, the Route 80 still covers Carnelian and Baseline and could have an easy transfer connection for you at Chaffey College. Additionally, if you're trying to go points farther west, you can try transfers at Haven or Milliken to the Route 81 or 85. Another new set of routes is the Route 85 and 88. If you look at the maps, and you're a regular writer, you should recognize these as parts of the previous 65 and 68. What we tried to do with these new routes was take the best, highest performing parts of the 65 and give them higher frequency, and the lower performing parts of the 68 with lower frequency. What that really means is taking your demand, where you guys ride the most, and match the frequency with that. So what we did is we looked at Central versus Ramona effectively. And when we looked at Central, we saw more riders on Central than we did on Ramona, even though Ramona had more frequent service. So we tried to correct that. With the new Route 85, there will be 30-minute service on Central, Monte Vista, and then Arrow connecting up to Chaffey College. There will, instead of traveling north on Haven, the route will move over to Milliken, travel north on Milliken, giving us connections to a few new locations in Milliken before getting to the college. This really helps us maximize the number of people we're getting 30-minute service to. On the new Route 88, it does keep the 60-minute service between Chino Hills and the Chino Transit Center, and then has 60-minute service on the old Route 68 path up Ramona, Monte Vista to the Montclair Transit Center. Another change you'll notice is a change to our routes 83 and 84. 83 still remains primarily that north-south route on Euclid. The difference is it extends a little farther south. Specifically, it stays on Euclid Avenue farther south of Chino, getting all the way to Eucalyptus, extending the route south by almost a mile. This allows us to get to that new College Park area that was really built with transit in mind. If you've been through College Park, you'll have seen, even before the houses were built, there were bus turnouts, bus shelters, benches, and a number of amenities, in addition to giving us access to the back entrance to the Chaffey College Chino campus. Once we get through Chaffey College Chino, the route goes back to its previous routing on Central to Chino up to the Chino Trans Center. This really helps us stretch farther into Chino, which has been a demand for many from riders for quite a while. On the new 84, we talked about a second ago, the 84 really turns into that north-south route on Mountain. If you used to take the 63 to the 80 to the 67 to travel north and south on Mountain, you'll see this should save a lot of time. Another set of routes, we have the Route 81, again that focused travel on Haven, trying to make fewer transfers so that you can get to where you want to go as quickly and as efficiently as possible. This should again be easier for new riders to understand, as this more mimics a path that someone might take in their own travel, whether it be by car or by walking. The only real deviation on this route outside of Haven is a quick jaunt to Ontario Mills, so that we still maintain that key transfer connection. One thing that's really special about this route is we did bring in a short and long. What happens is the route will have travel the entire distance every 60 minutes, but cutting that in half for 30 minutes, there'll be basically special buses that run between Haven and Chaffey College every 30 minutes to give that north section part of this route even more frequent service than it has today. Another change is the Route 86. You'll notice the Route 86 is parts of two previous routes. The previous Route 81 that went from Riverside Drive up Vineyard to Francis into downtown Ontario, and the north section of the Route 63 that traveled primarily up campus to San Antonio Community Hospital. With this change, these two parts are connected. One reason why I put these two slides together was some changes to weekend service. Currently, the Route 81, or the Route 82 for that matter, do not have weekend service in Ranch Cucamonga. That meant there was no connection, north-south connection, between the 66 and the 61. With the new Route 81, we've corrected that on Saturdays. On Saturday, the Route 81 will continue to run, and that provides that key connection between 66 and 61 that we've had many riders ask for. Part of the reason why that was important is if you're on Haven today, the closest north-south route you have is either 7 miles to the east on Sierra or almost 5 miles to the west on Carnelian. With the Route 86, the Route 86 unfortunately does not have weekend service. We will continue to monitor demand on Route 86 to see when or if we can provide that. But we thought, excuse me, it was a more fair distribution of service within our service area. The southern part of the Route 86 didn't have weekend service today because it's part of the Route 81, and the northern part of the Route 86 already was covered with a lot of other options. The part right around San Antonio Hospital is covered by the Route 85, or the very north part by the Route 66, or ultimately campus is just about half a mile away from Euclid. So while campus doesn't have service on Saturday or Sunday, it seemed that having service within half a mile was much more fair than not having service on Haven, where the closest service was over 5 miles away. The last change is a change to the Route 82. The majority of the route remains unchanged, primarily the section on Sierra, Jurupa, Cherry, Mulberry. All of that remains exactly as it is today. The difference on the route is on the far western portion. Rather than meandering over to Milliken and Haven and back and forth a few times, the route stays on Milliken as a north-south connection. It does go from Jurupa to Milliken into the Ontario Mills before traveling north the Foothill. When it gets north the Foothill, it does serve Victoria Gardens, giving this new route a new destination. Lastly, one of the things Omnitrans is really excited about is bringing back the 90. We've listened to your questions, we've listened to your suggestions, and we've heard bring back the 90 more often than any other service request over the last 5 years. With the Route 290, we've brought back the majority of the 90, that connection between San Bernardino, ARMC, Ontario Mills, and the Montclair Transit Center. If you wanted to take that trip today, on local routes from San Bernardino to Montclair, it's over 2 hours. With this Freeway Express route, it can be done in just under an hour, 55 to 58 minutes, cutting your travel time in half. In order to make this affordable for us, we did have to run the service as weekday peak hour service only, but that's actually when most of you want to travel, so it works out. Our service will start at 5:20, run till about 9 a.m., and then we'll run from 4 p.m. till about 7 p.m. This matches when the highest ridership peaks are on the Route 66, the Route 61, and the Route 14. One of the things that we're really excited about, and we hope you're really excited about, is if you want to try this service, it's free for the first week. September 8th through September 11th, hop on 290, and you get a free ride to see how it works out for you. In addition, you may get a ride in this really cool bus. We're really proud of it, but something we're even more proud of is the fact that we're able to bring you free Wi-Fi on board on our Freeway Express routes. The free Wi-Fi is not only available on the 290, but will also be available to you regular riders who ride on the 215. Please take time, enjoy your devices, and catch up on email. I know if I was on the bus, that's what I'd be doing. Thank you for taking your time out of your day to listen to this presentation. If you have additional questions, please visit omnitrans.org. You'll be able to see our system map, our bus book. You'll also have direct access to our contact information where you can submit further suggestions for route changes or ask questions and make comments. Thank you.